Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to Learn with Washington YouTube channel. And in this series, we are going to learn machine learning with Python, and we are going to use a linear regression to see how we can train a model. So the data set I'm going to retrieve it from my GitHub account using the URL library.request. So from URL library.request, we are going to import URL retrieve. So I do like starting my videos straight away without doing a lot of introduction because that's the business. So after importing URL retrieve, let's give the GitHub link of where I have the dataset. So this is the dataset on my GitHub account. So as you can see, I have an area and the price of houses. So we are going to predict the price of an house in a specific region. So after having a variable price which is equals to the data that we have, so we are using the URL retrieve function to read the data or retrieve the data. So we pass in the variable name price, and then we give the data name, that is the home price.csv. So I'll copy it, then we pass it there as a string. So when we run this cell, we'll be able to load our CSV file to our notebook here. So just a little bit. So as you can see, we now have it. So when we get this output, it means that we have retrieved the file. So what we are going to do next is to import the necessary libraries, and we are going to read the file using pandas. So as I said earlier, pandas is a Python library for data science. So let's import necessary libraries. So we have import pandas as pd, numpy, asynp, and sklearn. We have import linear model from sklearn and matplotlib library as plt. So these are the libraries that we are going to use. sklearn, we use it to train a model, and in this case we are working with the linear regression. So let's read the file. First, we must read the file first using the Python pandas. So read the file using pandas. So data frame df is equals to pandas.read. So data frame is equals to pd dot read csv file, and then we pass in the file name. So I'll copy it, and then I'll paste it over there. So when we call the data frame, that is the df stand for data frame, so it is just a variable name. So when we call it and we run the cell, we'll be able to read our file. So now you can see we have read the file, the same file that we saw on our GitHub account. We have now retrieved it, and we were able to read it using the Python pandas. So after reading the file and loading it to our notebook, now we are going to use the file to train and test the model, and we will be able to predict the house prices in specific regions using the data that we have. The data is very simple, just to demonstrate. So we are going to plot a graph, of course a linear plot. So let's have the x label as area, And then let's now have the Y label. So make sure you have all the basics that I've posted on this channel. Make sure you go through the data science basics, all the data visualization, so that you'll be able to follow. So after having the X label, the Y label, now we are going to plot the scatter. So we are going to plot area against the price. So what you have done there, that means you are plotting the scatter graph of area against the price. So data frame dot area, data frame dot price, and then let's have the color as red, and let's have the marker to be X. So let's have it as X. So when we run the cell, we'll be able to see the scatter plot of area against the price. So we are having, so where I have the data frame dot area, it is supposed to be the area, the A should be lowercase there, because in our data set we don't have area with capital A, just small a. So it's important to note that Python is really case sensitive. So let's correct that so that we don't get the error. So let's rerun the cell after making the changes. You can see now we don't have the error, so we have the scatter plot of price, against the area. So out of this, we can be able to predict the price of an house in a particular area. So that is how we plot the graph. I'm sure you were able to grasp that. So let's now continue. So that one I was demonstrating how we can read our data set and plot the graph, how we can plot the scatter graph, we can have the marker. So let's now have a new variable, that is new data frame, and then we are going to drop. Dropping means just we are getting rid of it and we are not reading it in this case. So we are not going to read the price, so which means we are just going to read the area in this case. So let's read the new data frame. So as you can see now, we have the area, just the area of column. We have just printed the area column, we have dropped the price, and then in our new data frame now, another data frame, we are now going to drop the area and just print the price. So after doing this now, we'll be able to use this new data frame, the new variable that we are using, to be able to train the model. So for price, let's now read the price values. So we have the variable just representing the area and variable just representing the price. So what we are going to do next is now to train the model. So I'm sure you are able to follow along. In case you are not getting something, leave a comment on the comment section so that we address it. So let's create a linear regression model. So let's have variable regression. So this is how we create a linear model. So a variable regression is equals to linear underscore model dot linear regression. So let's fit. So the fit function there just means we are fitting the data. So we are going to use new data frame against the price. So we are going to compare them. So that's what it means. So we are now we have a model of the data frame for area and for prices. So we have compared them. So after having that model, we'll be able now to predict the price of a house in a specific region. So let's have regression.predict, and then we pass in any area value. So let's pass like 3,300 and we predict the price. So you can see we have the price there as we have predicted the price as 628,715. So like now that value we have come up with that value from the model that we have trained. So we can pass in any, this is the value, so we can pass in any area, the value or any area, and then we will be able to get the price of land. For example, let's have 44. You can see now at 44 now the price will be a little higher, 770,082. So that's basically what it means to train a model and to predict. So I'm sure you are able to figure out. So we have predicted that. So let's look at the value of coefficient. So I'm sure you know about from math that the equation of a straight line y is equals to mx plus c. So we can get the coefficient value. And then we can get the y-intercept. The y-intercept value. So I'm sure you are. So we get the coefficient using the regression dot coefficient, the intercept using the regression dot intercept, but we know the equation is always y is equals to mx plus c. So b is the intercept and m is the coefficient. So our solution, so we can be able to get the total value by adding. We can get the y value from the equation. So I'm sure you are able to see how this one works. So we can be able even to get the line of the best fit there. So make sure you like this video, and then you hit the subscription button and turn on the notification, so that anytime we post on this, you will get notified and you'll be able to follow along. So thank you very much.